My name is Chloe, and my passion for fashion has always been a driving force in my life. This passion steered me towards a career in a prestigious boutique, allowing me to delve deep into the latest styles while assisting others in finding their ideal outfits. Despite my fondness for upscale fashion, I've always managed to maintain a practical approach to my own clothing choices. I excel at unearthing incredible deals, browsing through sale racks, and assembling chic yet affordable ensembles. My ultimate ambition has been to become an image consultant, guiding individuals in defining their personal style and boosting their self-confidence. I dedicated countless hours to poring over fashion magazines, attending runway shows, and trying out various styles on myself and my friends. One evening, at a local fashion event aimed at showcasing new designs and possibly forging industry connections, I caught the attention of a certain individual. While I admired a striking outfit on the runway, I noticed a tall, charming man with a professional camera watching me. After the event, he introduced himself with a warm smile as Benjamin, the photographer for the evening. Our conversation flowed effortlessly as we discussed our favorite designs from the show and our mutual appreciation for fashion. Benjamin was not only a skilled photographer, but also deeply knowledgeable about the fashion industry. As we chatted, I was drawn to his passion and creativity. Sensing a spark, Benjamin suggested we meet for coffee to continue our discussion about fashion. Thrilled, I agreed, and we exchanged numbers. As Benjamin and I began dating, our relationship quickly deepened, leading to an introduction to his parents, Samuel and Samantha. Initially nervous, I was quickly put at ease by their warm welcome. Samantha, particularly impressed by my style, praised my ability to blend stunning yet affordable pieces. Samuel appreciated my financial savvy, a trait he considered important. However, not all interactions were pleasant. During my first visit, Benjamin's sister Gemma made it clear she disapproved of my economic fashion sense. Her dismissive attitude and remarks about preferring a lavish lifestyle hurt, especially when Benjamin responded to her rudeness with nothing more than an indulgent smile. The following weeks were emotionally turbulent. One afternoon, while I was absorbed in thoughts about a new styling project, I encountered Gemma again. She mockingly referred to me as the bargain hunters in front of her friends, attempting to embarrass me. Despite the sting of her words, I held my head high, refusing to let her derision affect my confidence in my style and financial choices. But then, I remembered my values and what I stand for. With a serene smile, I responded to Gemma, "Actually, Gemma, you're right. There's a sale on the new luxury collection at Bergdorf's today. You can snag it for half price. Why don't you join me?" The laughter faded from Gemma's lips as her friend's eyes lit up with interest. "Really?" one of them asked, moving closer. "That collection is stunning. I'd love to check it out." Before I knew it, Gemma's friends had gathered around me, eager to learn more about the sale and my shopping tips. We spent the afternoon together, scouring for bargains and exchanging styling advice. As we said our goodbyes, they thanked me enthusiastically, leaving Gemma isolated and visibly irked on the sidelines. A few days later, while I was setting up a new display in the boutique, I heard the door chime. Turning around, I was surprised to see Gemma. She greeted me with saccharine sweetness. "Hello, dear sister. I'm here to do some shopping, and since we're practically family, you'll surely give me a nice discount, right?" Taking a deep breath to maintain my professionalism, I replied, "I'm sorry, Gemma, but this is a new collection. We don't offer discounts on our latest arrivals, even for family members. I hope you understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly," Gemma retorted sarcastically. "You're just selfish and don't care about family. Wait until Benjamin hears about this." That evening, my phone buzzed with a message from Benjamin. "We need to talk. Can I come over?" When Benjamin arrived, his face was serious. "Chloe, what's this I hear about you refusing to help my sister?" I explained the store policy and my commitment to professional integrity, but Benjamin seemed unsympathetic. "Come on, Chloe. It was just a small discount. You could have made an exception for Gemma.
She's going to be your sister-in-law someday."
"Benjamin," I responded, firm yet calm. "I can't compromise my job or my principles. even for family, especially not for someone who has been nothing but rude to me since we met. Benjamin's expression turned stern. That's just how Gemma is. You need to learn to deal with it if you're going to be part of this family. As Benjamin left that night, a knot formed in my stomach. I loved him, but his unyielding defense of Gemma's behavior was becoming increasingly hard to accept. This situation highlighted a side of him that seemed to always prioritize Gemma's desires above my own needs. The weeks that followed were strained. Benjamin and I attempted to move past the incident, but it left a lingering bitterness. I found myself questioning our relationship, wondering if Benjamin would ever truly support me. One evening, while preparing for a family dinner at Benjamin's parents' house, I received a message from Samantha, Benjamin's mother. "Chloe, dear, I was wondering if you could help me with something. Gemma's been talking about a wealthy man she's seeing, and I'm concerned she's not taking her future seriously. Could you talk to her about wedding planning? You have such great taste and sense." I hesitated, my stomach churning. The last thing I wanted was to become entangled in Gemma's affairs, but I couldn't dismiss Samantha's request. With a resigned sigh, I agreed to her plea. At dinner that night, the air was tense. Gemma was radiant as she boasted about her new beau, flaunting details of his wealth with dramatic gestures. "He's loaded," she bragged. "Private jet, yacht, the works." As I listened, I braced myself for another challenging evening, wondering how I would navigate the complex dynamics of this family. As we discussed spring weddings, Benjamin's eyes lit up when he spoke to his sister. "That's fantastic, Gem. A wedding in the Bahamas sounds amazing. Don't let this one slip away," he said enthusiastically. His excitement stung a bit. He had never shown such fervor for our plans. During the conversation, Samantha tried to steer things toward planning. "Speaking of weddings, Gemma, have you started yours yet? Chloe here has quite an eye for these things. Maybe she could give you some advice." Gemma's expression soured immediately. "I don't need advice from her," she snapped, her tone dismissive. "Especially not about weddings. What would she know about luxury events?" I swallowed my response, reminding myself that I was there to support Samantha. "I'd be happy to help if you want, Gemma. Even high-end weddings need careful planning and budgeting." "Thanks, but no thanks," Gemma retorted sharply. "I'll stick with professional planners. You can keep your bargain basement ideas to yourself." Samantha looked visibly disappointed by Gemma's rejection, and I felt a mix of relief and regret. Part of me was glad to escape the tension, yet I wished I could have been of help to Samantha. As we prepared to leave that evening, Samantha pulled me aside, her voice filled with apology. "I'm so sorry about Gemma, dear. I don't know where we went wrong with her." "It's all right, Samantha. Some people just have different values," I reassured her, patting her arm. As the autumn leaves began to fall, Benjamin surprised me with a proposal. Despite my doubts, I said yes, captivated by the beautiful, large diamond ring that must have cost a fortune. I wondered if this lavish gesture was spurred by Gemma's constant boasting about her wealthy fiancé. Nevertheless, I threw myself into wedding planning with vigor, eager to showcase my styling skills and create something truly unique. I spent hours sketching designs, researching vendors, and crafting a cohesive vision for our big day. I designed a unique wedding dress featuring a stunning oversized bow, created mood boards for the bridesmaids' looks, and developed a comprehensive styling guide for our guests. My plans for the venue decorations aimed to transform the space with a cohesive design that incorporated unexpected, exclusive details. I envisioned beautiful photo areas, an elegant arch, and custom invitations and guest favors that tied into the overall theme. One day, while sharing some of my ideas over coffee with Samantha, her eyes sparkled with excitement. "Oh, Chloe, these are wonderful," she exclaimed. "You have such a talent for this." I wish Gemma would put half as much thought into her wedding. Samantha sighed, a hint of worry in her voice. "Gemma isn't very involved in her planning. She says her fiancé's family is handling everything. I'm worried she's not taking it seriously enough. Maybe you could talk to her about her dress at the next family dinner?" At the dinner, I cautiously brought up the topic. "So, Gemma, have you started looking at wedding dresses yet?" Gemma rolled her eyes. "Please, I don't need fashion advice from someone who shops at sales. I remained calm, despite the jab. I just thought, since I'm in the industry, I might be able to help you find something unique. I don't need unique, Gemma snapped back. I need something expensive and impressive, something that will show everyone how well I'm marrying. I watched as Benjamin nodded in approval at his sister's words, and my heart sank. Was this the family I was marrying into? As the evening wore on, Gemma continued to boast about her upcoming wedding, emphasizing that nothing but the best would do for her. We drove home in silence, the weight of the evening pressing down on me. A growing sense of unease had taken hold of me. It seemed that no matter what I did, it would never suffice for Benjamin and his sister. I was beginning to lose sight of myself in my efforts to please them. The day of Gemma's wedding arrived, 3 months before my own was planned. Benjamin and I were invited, and as we approached the venue, a mix of excitement and curiosity bubbled within me. I was eager to see the kind of luxurious event Gemma had boasted about organizing. However, the moment I stepped into the venue, my excitement turned to shock. My heart sank as I took in the scene before me. Every detail of the venue was exactly as I had envisioned and planned for my wedding. From the custom arch to the intricately arranged table settings and even the floral arrangements, everything was an exact replica of my designs. As guests admired the decor, each compliment felt like a sharp stab to my heart. These were my ideas, my dreams, now being celebrated as someone else's. The most painful moment came when Gemma made her entrance, wearing a dress identical to the one I had designed for myself, holding the exact bouquet I had envisioned for my own aisle walk. Numb. I watched as our friends and family snapped photos in the beautifully arranged photo zones that I had created, oblivious to the fact that they were admiring a stolen dream. Pulling Benjamin aside, I whispered urgently, "How is this possible? Everything here is exactly what I planned for our wedding. How did Gemma get my designs?" Benjamin looked uneasy and avoided my gaze. "You're imagining things, Chloe," he said nervously. "All weddings look kind of similar, don't they?" His dismissive tone only fueled my anger and disbelief. I knew what I was seeing. This was not a coincidence. It was a blatant theft of my vision. As I approached Gemma, her fiancé, and the small crowd gathered around them, I could hear the enthusiastic praise from relatives and friends. "Oh, Gemma, the decorations are simply exquisite," one aunt gushed. "Everything is so thoughtfully arranged. You've outdone yourself," another guest added. Gemma basked in the attention, a smug smile on her lips. "Thank you all so much," she replied, her voice dripping with false modesty. "I've been secretly working on this for 10 months. I wanted everything to be perfect." Her fiancé's parents nodded approvingly, showering more praise on their future daughter-in-law. The sight of her taking credit for my hard work made my blood boil. I couldn't stand by and let her steal my creativity. Taking a deep breath, I stepped forward and raised my voice so everyone could hear. "I'm curious, Gemma, who exactly is the designer and the author of these wedding decoration ideas?" The chatter around us immediately ceased, creating a heavy silence. Gemma's smug expression faltered, replaced by a look of panic. She glanced around nervously, clearly caught off guard by my direct question. Samantha, Benjamin's mother, turned to me with a confused expression. "Chloe, dear, is everything all right?" she asked. Before I could respond, Benjamin appeared at my side, grabbing my arm. "Chloe, can we talk for a moment?" he whispered urgently, trying to pull me away. "Please don't ruin this day for Gemma." At that moment, I realized that my feelings and the betrayal I felt were being sidelined for the sake of preserving appearances. The realization that Benjamin might never truly stand up for me, even when the evidence of wrongdoing was unmistakable, was disheartening and eye-opening. But I stood firm, shaking off Benjamin's grip. I was done being silenced and overlooked. "No, Benjamin, I need to understand why your sister used my wedding plans and where she got the dress. It's exactly the one I designed for our wedding." Gemma's eyes widened in alarm, and she glanced at Benjamin pleadingly as the murmurs from the guests around us grew louder. Benjamin, his face red with embarrassment, stepped between us. "Chloe, please, our wedding isn't for another 3 months. By then, everyone will have forgotten about this design." "Forgotten?" I echoed, my voice rising with my anger. Benjamin, do you realize how much time and effort I put into those designs? This isn't just about a wedding. It's about respect and honesty. I turned back to Gemma and demanded, how did you learn about my decor ideas? Where did you get my dress design? The silence that followed was suffocating. Benjamin's shoulders slumped in defeat, and he finally spoke, his voice a faint whisper. I gave them to her, Chloe. I showed Gemma all your designs and sketches. The ground seemed to drop from beneath me. You what? Benjamin couldn't meet my eyes as he continued. And the dress? I gave her your dress too. I thought it would make her wedding unique. Gasps of shock rippled through the crowd. Samantha covered her mouth in disbelief, and Gemma's fiancé stepped back, his expression a mix of confusion and disappointment. The revelation that Gemma was wearing my wedding dress struck me like a physical blow. How could you do this to me, Benjamin? To my shock, Benjamin's demeanor shifted. He stood straighter, his eyes defiant. I don't see what the big deal is, Chloe, he said brashly. It's just a dress. It's not disposable. It can be worn more than once. I stared at him in disbelief. But Benjamin wasn't finished. Look, he continued, his voice growing bolder, we can postpone our wedding for a year if you're so upset. By then, everyone will have forgotten these designs. Then came the final blow. Besides, Benjamin added dismissively, I'd do anything for my sister. At his words, Gemma's face lit up with a triumphant smile. She turned to the stunned crowd and announced loudly, that's right. I'm so happy to wear this beautiful dress, especially knowing how much it bothers Chloe. Don't worry, Chloe. You can wear it after me. If Benjamin still wants to marry you, that is. Something inside me snapped. I looked around at the stolen decor, the copied dress, and the man I thought I loved, defending this betrayal. In that instant, I knew what I had to do. There won't be a wedding to postpone, I declared, my voice clear and strong. I'm canceling it. I refuse to marry a man who puts his sister's petty desires above my feelings and our relationship. A collective gasp went through the crowd. Before Benjamin or Gemma could respond, an unexpected voice spoke up. Chloe is right, Samantha, Benjamin's mother, said firmly. She turned to her children, her face a mask of disappointment. I'm ashamed of both of you. Stealing someone's ideas and dreams. Is this how we raised you? Gemma's future in-laws stepped forward, their expressions grim. We're deeply disappointed, Gemma's would-be father-in-law stated. A marriage should not begin with lies and theft. Gemma's face twisted with anger. She whirled on her future in-laws, shouting, I don't care what you think. This is my wedding. Amidst the unfolding chaos, I walked away, knowing I had made the right decision, and liberated from a future that would have surely stifled my spirit and creativity. As Gemma declared her intent to do whatever she wanted, her outburst seemed to be the breaking point for her fiancé. He walked away from her, his face etched with shock and disgust, and approached the DJ's setup. Taking the microphone, he announced to the gathering, his voice reverberating through the venue, I'm sorry, everyone, but there won't be a wedding today. I cannot marry someone who behaves in this manner. As chaos ensued, Benjamin turned to me, his face flushed with anger. Look what you've done, he shouted. You've ruined Gemma's wedding. How could you be so selfish and greedy? But before I could respond, Benjamin's parents intervened. That's enough, Benjamin, his father said sternly. Your sister ruined her wedding, and you helped her. Your mother and I are deeply ashamed that we raised children who would behave like this. Standing amid the chaos, surrounded by what should have been my dream wedding setup, I felt an unexpected relief at having exposed the betrayal. It was a clear sign that I had escaped a future with someone who did not value me. After some reflection and discussions with a lawyer, I decided to take legal action against Benjamin for the moral and financial harm caused by the cancellation of our wedding. To my surprise and relief, Samantha, Benjamin's mother, offered her support. I'll testify on your behalf, Chloe, she told me, her eyes showing a mix of sadness and determination. What Benjamin and Gemma did was wrong, and they must face the consequences. The legal proceedings were tough, but I was prepared. I presented all my original designs, sketches, and detailed receipts of every expense related to our planned wedding. As I stood in court, surrounded by the evidence of my stolen dreams, a sense of closure began to settle in. Eventually, the court ruled in my favor, ordering Benjamin to compensate for both the moral and financial damages. As the judge announced the verdict, I felt a burden lift from my shoulders. It wasn't about the money, it was about justice and being recognized for my creativity and hard work. In the months that followed, I maintained a warm relationship with Samantha and Samuel, my almost-in-laws. They updated me on the family drama that unfolded after the scandal. Gemma had been cut off financially and was now working a low-paying job, a tough but perhaps necessary lesson for her. Benjamin's professional life also suffered. Word spread in the tight-knit wedding industry about his role in stealing my designs, making clients wary of working with him. His photography business struggled, a stark reminder of the importance of integrity, especially in a business centered around trust and celebrating life's significant moments. For me, I dived back into my studies with renewed vigor, specializing in wedding fashion, a twist of irony, given my circumstances. The very event that nearly derailed my life had become the cornerstone of my career. My services quickly became sought after. Clients appreciated my attention to detail, my ability to create unique, personalized designs, and, most importantly, my commitment to originality and integrity. Standing in my studio one day, surrounded by sketches of wedding gowns and mood boards for upcoming ceremonies, a smile naturally formed on my face. The path I had taken was filled with challenges, yet it guided me precisely to where I was meant to be. Here I was, living out my dream independently, crafting beauty and joy for others while steadfastly upholding my values.